G'day everyone, B Asian Day here. We're going to do the unboxing and first impression of his Dell Latitude 7420. It's a 14-inch premium ultra lightweight notebook from Dell, and this is the 2021 model. Now the previous one was the Dell Latitude 7410, and I've already done a review on that one. If you want to check that review out after this, I'll put a link in the description below so you can check that out after as well. Now I will be doing a little bit of a comparison of what the differences of the Latitude 7420 and the 7410, and I'll also be creating a follow-up video after I spend a bit of time with this laptop here, so be sure to check that out. I'll put a link in the description below when that is made available. Now without further ado, let's get on with the unboxing. Now of course everyone knows I've got my nice trusty knife for the unboxing, so here we go. And you've got to do away from myself, so I don't, and I'm just gonna have to do this one towards myself, and I'll just do the two slits that's crossed around here. That'd be nice. Now if you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel, and I really do mostly do business laptops anyway. So let's start to see if I can get this thing open up here. So, there we go. Have I got it all? There we go. Now, oh, straight away, interesting enough, we've got the power adapter straight up, straight up. So normally it's hidden away, but that's straight up. So that's, as always, I love to see the power adapter. So this was straight up, so I don't even have to find it anyway. So it's nice to see. So here we go. We don't need that rubbish now. Now we've got what do we got? 65 watt power adapter, and it is running through a USB-C port to charge the laptop, which is great to see. And then we should have the other part of the cable, which is the 3-prong there, and you actually find this one quite slim, which is nice. I think I've seen this one before, I just can't remember which laptop it is, but I have seen this particular power adapter before, and I think it was the 3310, I think it was, that actually had something very similar to it, but it's nice and light. I can definitely tell you that's very light, but we'll weigh that in the review video anyway. So I'll just chuck this one down here along with the knife. All right, let's have a look at what else we got here. Now if you notice, everything is actually cardboard, so it's nice to see this for the sustainability there. Okay, now we've got more cardboard here. I'll just move that across. Sorry about that. And okay, we've got some, what have we got? Some documentation. Oh, came back to me. Don't need that. All right, is there anything else besides that? Nope, that's about it. So that's an empty box. I'll just chuck this down here. Now, let's flip this around. Just a nice little flip. There we go. And let's have a look at this. Oh. Okay. Wow. Well, okay, I've got the carbon fiber version that Dell sent me. So this is a nice carbon fiber at the top here, and at the bottom here, this is, well, I'm going to make it plain simple. It's probably just plastic, but it's polycarbonate. That's plastic at the bottom, and on the sides, again, it's pretty much got a very nice velvet sort of feel to it. So not a matte feel. I don't know what you really call that feel. One day I'll find out. I have to ask someone who's an expert at his material, but it's got that sort of velvet sort of matte feel to it along the sides, same as the top as the carbon fiber. If you felt the carbon fiber, that's what it feels like all the way through in a way. That bit of a glossy sort of texture. I don't know if I'm trying to try it, but please put a comment below what you think the texture feels like if you previously owned a Latitude, especially the carbon fiber. Please tell me what the texture you will actually call that. I love to actually use that for the videos anyway. So anyway, this is it. Actually, it looks a bit smaller. The footprint looks a bit smaller than the previous generation. Whoa, I can straight away see something different here. I can straight away see there's exhaust vents on the top here. Now I know that the previous generation was a lot bigger down to about left hand side, especially the 2-in-1. I was complaining about that. This is actually made a lot higher. Now, I don't know if this is a 2-in-1. I don't think this is a 2-in-1. This should be a clamshell one that they've sent me. But I can definitely see that's gone smaller, and it's actually gone to the back end here as well too. So normally I just like to hide it on that side, but it's gone back here, which means I do know that the thermals on this has been changed massively for this 7420, but I think the footprint's gone smaller for sure. It looks a bit, when I do the review, I'll try and see if I can get my hands on at 7410 so I can actually put this side by side anyway. The other thing I can straight away see already, then might as well go through the ports as well too. Anyway, this is on the left hand side of the computer. So we've got a USB-C port. Now that's Thunderbolt 4 for this one here, and you can also charge this up as well using this power delivery here now. And then we got the exhaust vent. Now this is the new part. I can definitely see we didn't have the exhaust vent in the 7410. That was all along the back, and this one actually has one in the side. Now that's very interesting there. I'm going to come back to that. And then we've got the headphone jack. Again, this is very interesting because the headphone jack is on the 7410 was actually on the other side around here. Now for me, this is actually a good thing, and this all may be good or bad depending on you. For me, it's actually a good thing because I'm a righty, and I'll tell you why. If I'm a righty, if I have a mouse connected to this, I would actually have it. Now, if I had my headphone plugged into the headphone jack, then I have actually got limited space, and I'll actually bump into the cord of the headphone jack. But now, so when on the left hand side, that's great for me. But if you're a lefty, this may be a problem that you'll find that I've always had problems when the previous generation. So the 7410 had it on the right hand side. So just to let you know. And then we've got the smart card reader here. So that's on there. Now along the back again, there's nothing besides that new exhaust vent on the back end. And looking on the right hand side, we've got the Noble slot for the security. And then we've got the HDMI. Now I know that's a version 2.0. And then we've got the USB 3.2 Gen 1, that's Type A, so USB Type A. Now there's only one of them. Before there was two, so that's interesting to see. And I'll probably say they've actually made some just room from the exhaust to actually take that away. So it's a bit knifey. I'd rather have two ports, but hey, we might get better thermals for this, so we'll find out. And then we've got another USB-C port, which is a Thunderbolt 4 port here. And then we've got the micro SD card reader. And then underneath that, I'm just going to try and pull that out here. It should be a USIM. I've just got to check that up. I'm thinking it's a USIM there, and that's about all there is on as port wise. So definitely big port changes. So we've down from minus one USB Type A port. I would have been nice to actually have gained an extra USB-C port, but hey, we've got two USB-C ports here, but at least they're on both different sides, so that's kind of nice, so you can actually jack them up differently. So I like that. And also the headphone jack has been improved for me anyway. Anyway, while we're at it, I'm going to bring in a helper. Actually, I will do this. I'm going to bring in a helper for this. And actually, before I bring in the helper in, let's do the one finger test here. So let's see how the hinge goes on this one here. So I'm going to do one finger, and we're just going to bring this across. Hey, that's not bad. That's actually doing pretty nice and neat. Okay, and that's it. Then I've got to actually use one finger to move it all the way through here. And is that as far as it goes? Yep, I've got the clamshell there. So this one goes probably what you probably say. Would you say that about 190 degrees? I will probably say that 190 degrees for that as well too. So that's interesting. Anyway, I can just gonna use my helper over here to give you guys a bit of a hand. All right, so here we go. All right, so I'm just gonna try and get this out of the light. So I can definitely see this has an Intel Evo certification. So what that means is this has, for the processor wise, it is using the Intel Core 11th generation here. So you can either get an i5 or i7, so that hasn't really changed. Now I also know with the RAM wise, it can go up to a maximum of 32 gigs. Now that's soldered to the system board, so make sure you actually select the correct one when you purchase this, because you can't upgrade it later. Now one of the things I did notice when I was looking at the spec sheet between the 7410 and the 7420, which is this one here, even though the RAM capacity is the exact same, the RAM speed has been improved on the 7420. I think this one's maybe a third faster, but I will tell you definitely in the benchmarks when I actually run the performance test on this computer here as well too. Now I also know it's got Wi-Fi 6 been upgraded here. So of course it's got Bluetooth 5.1, that's both the same there as well. Now I can definitely see straight up here, the webcam is also still got the shutter here for there. But one of the nice things I did read, and Dell finally listened to after all the ones I said in last year in 2020, there is an option now for the webcam to have a full HD option is fantastic. Finally, that's really good to hear that they finally listened and they've put there is a full HD option. Now, I haven't really looked at the spec of this one I've got here. I'll find out when I actually boot this computer up and have a look, but I'm hoping they give me a full HD version anyway. So, and then we'll see that in the review test anyway. So that's one of the big differences. You can spec it up with a full HD. Of course, there also is a HD version as well too. Now, I know display wise, they did upgrade the didn't really say upgrade. There is more options for the display as well. So now with the options for the display panel, there is before January, it was only full HD. Now there is actually a 4K option for this as well. And also with the full HD and the 4K, you can go up to 400 nits of brightness as well. So there's options for that. So that's definitely there, which means those are listening to us that we actually want some brighter screens when we're working outdoors. So that's great for that one there. Now, again, I don't know what I've got here. I'm taking a guess it's going to be a full HD, maybe hopefully 400 nits one. We'll find out anyway. So no, so let's have a look at the keyboard. The keyboard hasn't really changed. It's still the same previous keyboard from the 7410, it looks like. So the actual key texture is got a bit of a matte feel to it. Same with the palm rest, has the same sort of feel to it as well. And each interview seems to be quite nice between spaces as well too. So I don't think that's much change. And the power button's still sitting on the very top right. So you've got to make sure you do watch that out when you actually, if you do the delete, that's where normally the delete key is. Now there's a power button. Again, that hasn't been changed from the 7410. I know if you've got the optional fingerprint scanner, it is built into the power keys right up there as well too. Now this one doesn't particularly have one configured with it, but if it does anyway. Now I also see this one probably has backlight here as well. Now as for the trackpad still feels very nice. I've just got some weird things in here. I don't know what that sticker means for, but I'm thinking it could have maybe a smart card reader on there as well, or some sort of NFC. So that's a bit interesting. I'll find out what that is anyway, so I'll just stick that right there. But I do also know, from just looking at the dimension wise of the trackpad, it looks like it's grown a little bit. And I did remember looking at the specs of this, that it's actually grown up sideways. It's about 1 centimeter longer, so that's good. So I've actually made it a little bit bigger, and I don't see it to be over crazy big, which is, I think, is going to be still a very, very good trackpad. Now the feel that it's got a very nice little glass feel. You can straight away see it as well, and it's mechanical. So mechanical, there's hinge at the top, and you can press it down here. And of course, it could be multi-text gestures as well too. Now, of course, Intel Evo means it can actually have a certain few things that it needs to meet minimum requirements. Like, for example, it's got to have a certain amount of hours, which is 9 hours. It's got to be able to stay alive for, so battery life. And I will definitely test that out for different ways here. But it is mean to have 9 hours as well too. Now, I've also just checking if I've got the Intel Evo V Pro. This one I might not have the V Pro, but there is an Intel V Pro Evo version as well. Now I've got the i7 version, which is great to see as well too. Now with the 11th generation, it has been bumped up a fair bit with the Intel integrated graphics, which is the RSXE. Now I've seen that previously in a few other laptops that I have tested in some other types of brands, and I found that very, very good as well too. So they've definitely jumped up in there. So I expect this one to have some decent integrated graphics as well too. So that's going to be good. Anyway, let's try and boot this computer up. Yeah, I think I might need to have this. Nope, it's got power. All right, that's great to see. And I can definitely see it's backlit as well. So hopefully we'll just bring up. Now, as for display wise, it doesn't look like it's changed too much in the bezel. It's still got very thin bezel on both sides. And on the bottom, it does have pretty thin on the bottom as well, and thin on the top. And I think it looks like, at the moment for me, it looks like a 16:9 aspect ratio still, but quite nice. And it's got a bit of a matte feel to the screen display as well, so it's quite nice. And actually it's quite bright at the moment still, so and I've got some lights shining on this, but when this boots up, I'm going to try and talk to us anyway.
Hi there.
Let's tell Cortana to shh while we actually talk about it. See if I can actually bring up the, that's gone to the bottom. Oops, sorry. I'm going to try and bring up that. it looks pretty bright here. I'm hoping this is the 400 nits, but I'll test that out in the review video as well too. So definitely a nice look to it as well too. The other thing that like I said, I'm just going to take this off, is that the thermal design on this has been changed since the 7410. Now, of course, we've seen the different holes down here. I also know that the fan, just looking at the internal view, is flipped across to the different side. For the fan used to be on this side here sorry, what I mean was fan used to be on this side for the 7410, and the 7420 is now on this side, the fan. And I think they've also made the fan a little bit larger, so I'm expecting this to have better thermals, and also being 11th generation, which hopefully should have better thermals anyway. So I'm hoping that. Now, one of the things I want to do, because I don't have the 2-in-1 here, but I'm gonna just have a quick check, because if this was foldable here, and I did complain that when this was folded up, that if you put this on your palm, that it would actually start blowing the hot air on your back of your forearm, and I don't think this one is going to have that sort of problem, because I can see, and that's because I'm a right hander. I will actually type right this on, but this is not. This is actually doing well. So my palm is right here, so which is where they used to have the exhaust vent sitting around back here, and that was just blowing directly. So there is a little, maybe a little, but it doesn't look to be that bad for me. So I'm thinking the 2-in-1 is going to be very, very good in terms of for right-hander. I think they'll definitely have listened up to my comments as well too. So I can definitely see some good news for the 2-in-1 here for that as well too. So definitely. Now, I hope that you have found this a little bit useful on this, and I do have to set this in computer up for this, and we'll have a review video. Whoa, sorry. This is just, that's how light this is. I just need to do the things. I'm just trying to see if I can bring that up, but I think that's just going to hold it out. So that's how light this laptop is. It feels quite light there as well too. So anyway, I will definitely make a follow-up video of this once I've spent some time with it. Now, if you find this video informative or enjoyed it, do smack that like button for me, or even support me, smack that like button for me. And if you've got any questions, do put a comment below. And if you haven't done already, subscribe to my channel by hitting the subscribe button on the screen. I do try to upload a new video every week. And just remember, imperfections in life makes it beautiful and interesting. I'll see you next video.